We're going to be doing a forward folds and twists class. So working on bringing more stimulation to the sensation of calming and stability in the mind. So this is more about generating that downward movement energy. So we feel that sensation of grounding and really dropping down into the earth. So it's a lot about stretching the whole back line of the body, stretching the spine, but more so about working into that more meditative space in the mind. So we're going to start straight off in butterfly. So just make sure you've got all the props that you might need. Maybe you've got a bolster or a long cushion, maybe some bricks or some books, blanket as well. And if you want an eye pillow for later on, you might want something to cover your eyes, just while it's still bright out. So if we come into the middle of the mat, and then we can bring the soles of the feet together and the knees come apart. So if you work with your feet a little bit further away from you, you're still getting the inner leg line stretch, but it's not going to be as intense. And the closer the feet are towards the sit bones, the more deeper of a stretch that you'll feel into the groin. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra support, it's quite nice to wedge some bricks right up close to the sides of the hips, or you can use a bolster underneath the backs of the knees, just to support the knees and give them something to really press into. If you feel that you're tilting back into the sit bone, so you're kind of rounding the spine, you can grab a blanket, bring the blanket underneath the sit bones, and then that just gives you a little bit of a ledge to tilt forward into. So we're working to fold forward into this shape. So you can either just work into half stretch, or you can come a little bit deeper in. Maybe it might feel nice to rest all the way down and let the head drop towards the floor. So you're stretching into the back of the neck as well. We're going to be here for around 5 minutes. So just find a position that really lets you rest and relax into. And then come into that yin space. So dropping all effort, being open and passive, surrendered into the shape. And the main point of today's class is coming into that still point of the mind. So as much as you can, reduce fidgeting, reduce movement, and allow yourself to really rest in complete stillness. So just make any final adjustments that you might need. And then let yourself move into focus on the breath. So as you inhale, breathe in for around 4 seconds, full count. And we want to build to extend the exhale. So we're coming into more of the parasympathetic nervous system. So as you exhale, count to around 6 counts. So it's just slightly building upon the exhalation and dropping us more into that restful part of the nervous system, part of the mind, allowing the digestive system to slow down. And we want to really allow the breath to move into the belly. So as you inhale, the belly is expanding and opening. And as you exhale, the navel is gently drawing back to the spine. So pulling the breath out, or pushing the breath out. So just coming up to halfway. You can stay here. If you need to modify it, please feel free to add any props that you might need. And if you want to increase the stretch, maybe you could let yourself drop a little bit deeper past this first edge. So the more stillness, the more calm that we find in the body, this is going to reflect into the mind. And by doing less poses and holding longer, we allow ourselves to go more deeply in. really accessing the pure place of stillness beyond the thinking mind and into our higher consciousness, connecting back into our eternal presence. Just coming through your last minute and a half. Just take your final round of breath here, preparing yourself to come out of the shade. Slowly start to, on your inhale, rise back up to a lifted position. Just pause here. And then use your hands on the backs of the knees to bring your feet flat to the floor so your knees are bent. You can move any props out to the side. We're going to make our way down to Shavasana for a rebound. So just moving anything out of the way and let yourself come down to lie onto your back. Take the legs out long or keep the feet on the floor, knees bent, whichever feels most comfortable for your back. Just allow your body to rebound here and back into the breath. As an almost counter pose, we're going to move into a one knee recline twist. Keep your left leg as it is and draw your right knee into the body. Hold around the shins and give the leg a good squeeze towards the body. Transfer the grip into your left hand and take your right arm out to the side into a T shape. Inhale in center. And as you exhale, roll onto your left hip, taking the right leg across the body. And you can hold onto the side of the leg with the left hand, looking over your right shoulder. If you wanted to add a little bit of support, you can grab your bolster or some pillows to the left side of the body and place that underneath your knee so you've got a nice supportive space to rest into. We're going to be here for about 3 minutes each side. And come back to abdominal breathing, so deep breaths into the belly. Feeling both shoulder blades glued down to the floor. And again, let gravity support and take you deeper into the stretch. You guiding your focus back to the breath, staying in that stillness, your body, feel that stillness entering into the mind, anchoring your thoughts by coming back to the breath. Just here for the last minute and then taking your final round of breath here. With your next inhale, slowly turn the head back through the center. Guide the right leg back and come into Shavasana for a moment. Realign the spine. If you use any props, just taking that over to the right side of the body now. And then we can take the left knee into the chest, hug in, flatten through the shoulders, transfer the grip into your right hand. Left arm comes out to the side, T shape. And as you exhale, rolling onto the right side of your hip, looking over your left shoulder this time. Again, support yourself as much as you need so that you can let your body rest and feel completely supported. The more we can support the body, the more it will allow a softening and it will allow a deepening into the shape. If we're holding or resisting, we're only adding more tension into the body. So whenever you need, always prop yourself up and move into the edge of your stretch. And back to abdominal breathing, nice deep belly breaths. So just here for about another minute and a half in this recline twist. Just keep allowing your mind to come back to your breath. Merging the body and mind into that still point. Just taking a final round of breath here. And then with your next inhale, you can slowly de-rotate, bring your head to center, release the right hand, and let yourself come into Shavasana. Just a pause here, lengthening out the spine, the legs, coming back into neutral with the pelvis, readjusting the shoulders if you need to, and again, breathing into the abdomen. So to counter the twist, we're coming into a fold, bringing the knees into the chest, Apanasana. So you can either work to hold around the shins and pull the legs into the body from here, or you can hold around the backs of the thighs, just tucking the hands behind the backs of the knees. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra length, you can also work with a blanket over the legs and pull down on the sides of the blanket. I really want to compress the spine, compress the navel back to the spine and feel a compression into the hip joint. So the shoulders are relaxed, preferably down to the floor. The biceps and the core is activated to pull the legs close in towards you. And we want to keep a gentle tuck of chin to chest, Jalandhara Bandha, to work to lengthen into the back of the neck and keeping the energy contained in the body. So here for about 1.5 minutes. Again, breathing into the belly. Even though we're in a compression, we still want to maximize belly breath, taking us deeper into the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we're working with forward folds and twists, it's really beneficial for the digestive system, where we're physically compressing into the organs. It's also helping with the elimination systems. So not only physical level, but also mental, emotional. If you're ever struggling with figuring out ways to let go, to move forward, you're feeling that you're stuck in a stagnant point, forward fold is a really good way to help you release any toxicity or waste from the mind and emotions from the body. So just take a final round of breath here. And then we're going to make our way over to all fours. So just slowly rolling onto your side. Push yourself up and over onto all fours. And we're moving into downward facing dog from here. So if you have anything going on in the shoulders, you can work into a child's pose position instead. So you can work to send the hips back to the heels and just work to stretch the arms out. If you're coming into downward facing dog, we're tucking the toes under, pushing the hips up and back. We want to keep a nice bend into the knees and push the weight of the body back from the hands into the tailbone. The chin gently tucks towards the chest, and we're working to really extend and lengthen the spine. So this is why we're keeping the knees slightly bent. So we're focusing more so on that extension in the spine. And we're also going to start to bring a bit more of a compression into the abdomen here. This is still forward fold. This time just working to breathe more deeply into the chest area. So as you inhale, visualize the chest expanding widthways and all around the heart. And as you exhale, draw the navel gently back to the spine. See if you can extend the spine a little bit longer, pushing away from the hands. Tailbone lifts. If this is a little bit too strong, you can always come down into child's pose. Just in here for about another 1.5 minutes. back to your breath anytime the mind is wandering. Keep extending the spine. Hold on, just take 3 more rounds of breath here, or in child's pose. Finish the round of breath that you're on. And then on your inhale, if you're not already, bring yourself down to all fours and you can push back into child's pose. So either arms extended, or you can rest your hands onto your sacrum or beside your hips. Just pause in here. Taking the knees slightly further apart so you've got a bit of space of the chest to come through. And then breathing into the abdomen again. Taking a final round of breath. And gently lift yourself up on your inhale to sit back onto the heels. So you can spin the legs around, come to sit into the middle of your mat. We're going to move into dragonfly. So you might want to come widthways on your mat and come into a wide leg position. So if this is a little bit too strong to work here, keep your leg extended out to the side, the right leg out, and then bring the left foot into the groin if that's a bit too strong to work with both legs extended. And we're going to do about 5 minutes, so 2.5 minutes each side if you're taking half dragonfly. So just find a comfortable seat. Again, if you feel that you're kind of rolling backwards, grab a blanket so you've got a nice ledge to sit onto. So it can be just folded in half, or if you want it slightly higher, you can roll it again. Prop yourself up. You might also want to take something behind the back of the knees. So you can use a blanket rolled up into more of a noodle shape and use that underneath the knees. So finding any position that helps you to feel nice and supported. And then working to lengthen the spine. So just bring the fingertips in front of you. Lengthen here, inhale. And as you exhale, start to pad the hands forward. So you can either pause halfway. If you feel that you can come down a little bit deeper on your next exhale, come to your elbows. And then if you feel that you can come further forward, you can start to extend the arms long and fold down. Or you can rest yourself onto any props that you might want. So it's quite nice to bring a bolster or a blanket in front of the body and rest the body down, forearms down. Or you can hug round the bolster and rest your forehead onto the end of the bolster. Anything that helps you to feel rested into the shape. Feel free to take whichever variation. I'll let you know when we're halfway through. And then if you've taken half dragonfly, you can switch legs. So this is slightly stimulating for the nervous system. It's quite an intense stretch for the inner and outer leg line, but also for the spine. So keep breathing into the belly. Keep inviting that deep belly breath, which helps us to drop more into the parasympathetic nervous system. keep coming into that still point of the mind. Mind is quiet and the body is still. And we can do that just by gently guiding our awareness back to the breath. Around a 4 count inhalation and a 6 count exhalation. Just increasing the length of that exhalation, dropping us deeper into that sensation of calm and stability. So if you've taken half dragonfly, you can now gently come up and switch sides. So you're taking the opposite leg to the opposite groin. And just take any props that you might need for this side. And then again, forward. Coming as far into the fold as feels comfortable for your spine, for your hips, for your legs. Back into abdominal breathing. Just here for another 2.5 minutes. For those of you that are already in dragonfly, full version, maybe seeing if there's anywhere that you can soften and deepen into the stretch. This might be just letting the head relax and fold deeper here. Maybe it's just deepening into the shape with your breath. It's just coming through the last 30 seconds. Taking a final round of breath. And then we can slowly start to lift ourselves back up, coming into the center. Take a moment just to pause here in a lifted position. Took half dragonfly, you can extend your legs both out long. If you've taken any props, just move them out to the side. And then use your hands behind the back of the knees to gently bring the feet to the floor one by one. And you can hug yourself in here. So just walk your feet in, hug around the shins. And you can relax through the head, the neck, the shoulders, and hug yourself small. Take a last round of breath, and then we can move to extend the legs out in front of us, moving into caterpillar from here. So again, you might want to use a blanket, a cushion, bolster underneath the backs of the knees. This is again more about the spine than the hamstrings. So if that helps you to relax the legs or it gives you more support, make sure the heels are still on the floor, but maybe a bend in the knees might feel nicer for your spine. And we're just working to let the body fold over the legs. So the more we can let the weight of the head draw down and forward, the more stretch we're going to get into the spine. So we can start by simply bringing the chin towards the chest and walking the hands further forward to come into a forward fold. Let the weight of your head drop down. Really release any holding in the back of the neck and feel that compression of the thighs to the belly. If you're working without any props, we're working to aim the navel towards the thighs and the chest towards the knees. So we're lengthening out the spine and still trying to find that compression of the abdomen to the thighs. Just taking around 1 minute here. Feeling that downward movement energy, grounding, stable and calm. The more we practice this on our mat, the more we bring moon-like qualities to the mind, passivity, reflecting back the light from the sun. And start to really infiltrate this into our everyday lives and how we operate in the world from a more calm, steady, stable and grounded space. Increasing that capacity every single practice. Keep breathing abdominally, inhaling for around 4, and again exhaling for around 6 count. Just taking your last round of breath here. And we can slowly start to pad yourselves back up to come to a lifted position. Just pausing in the lifted position. And that deep calmness of the mind, of the body. And then we're going to make our way to Shavasana from here. So you can keep the bolster underneath the backs of the legs if that feels comfortable. And just work to slowly release yourself down to the mat. Maybe bring in a blanket underneath the back of the head for a bit of extra support. Making sure the shoulder blades are sliding down the back, tailbone is gently tucked, legs are extended and the heels are still connected to the floor. Adding anything else that you might need, taking any final stretches that you might need. Then bringing awareness to the navel, to the abdomen again, breathing into the belly, abdominal breathing for around the last minute. Inhale for around 4. Belly rises. And exhale, navel draws back to spine for around 6 count. Exhale. Release the focus of the breath and allow yourself to rest. Complete effortlessness. Gradually begin to deepen in an exhale. Allow yourself to take any movements that feel nice, maybe stretching the wrists, the ankles, turning the head side to side, full body stretch or knee sways. And just hugging the knees, the chest, the breath here. And roll yourself over to your side. Take a moment on your side. And then gently press yourself up to a seat. I'm going to finish with some pranayama and meditation. So just find a position that allows your spine to lengthen, your hips are above your knees, and you're comfortable. So we're just coming through the last part of the practice. Moving into a breath work practice, which is going to start to increase your exhalation. So we'll inhale for a count of 4, and we'll exhale for a count of 8. We'll do 5 rounds, and then we'll inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 8, and then hold the breath out for a count of 4, and then 5 rounds of that, and then one final round of inhaling for 4, exhale for 8, for 10, and hold the breath out for 2, and then we'll do 5 rounds of that. And then the last round will be inhale for 4 and exhale for as long as you can. 5 rounds of that. And then we'll move into still leg with the mind meditation to finish. Just find a comfortable position, either legs crossed, or you can take butterfly legs or Siddhasana as I'm sitting in here. Make sure the spine is nice and long, the shoulders are relaxing down the back and the heart space is open. Just begin to close down through the eyes and take a normal, regular breath in. And a full breath out so we're on the same page. Inhaling for a count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4. Deep belly breath, belly expands. Exhale for 8. Navel draws back to the spine. For a gentle slowing down of the breath. Nice, smooth, steady, silent breath. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Inhale, last round for 4. Exhale for 8. Navel draws back to the spine. Now add in a breath retention, kumbhaka. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold the breath for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold the breath for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold the breath for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Hold the breath out for 4. And last round, inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Slow, smooth, steady breath. Hold the breath out for 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale for a count of 10. 3, 4, 5, 6. Slow the breath right down. 9, 10. Hold the breath out for 2. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 10. Really smooth, calm breath. Hold the breath out for a count of 2. And inhale for 4. Exhale for 10. That's too much, just do the 8 again. Hold the breath for 2. Inhale for 4, last round. Exhaling for either 8 or 10. Holding the exhalation out for 2. Last 5 rounds, inhaling for 4. Exhaling for as long as you can. Feel the breath into the infinite. As long out as your breath can be, until you feel all of the air moving out, and then you breathe in for a count of 4. Keep it a smooth, steady rate, pace. Just taking another 4 rounds. Really smoothing out the breath. Keep it as silent and calm and steady as you can. Feeling your mind merging into pure stillness. Still breathing into the abdomen. Breathing out through the abdomen. No struggle, no stress. Allowing yourself to rest deeply into this sensation of stillness and calm. Just finishing one more round in your own time. Once you've finished that round, your exhalation, just focus in now on a natural, calm, steady breath, just a rhythmic breath. No need to watch the breath at all, just allow it to be very effortless. Begin to see your mind at the level of the brain as a crystal clear and perfectly still lake. The level of the midbrain, perfectly clear and still lake. No ripples moving across its surface at all. And if a thought comes, see it as a small ripple across the surface and watch it until the lake moves back into still water. Still lake of the mind. Any thoughts coming through, transforming into ripples upon the surface of that lake. Now begin to move your attention to the back of the mind, to the back of your head. And behind the head, in the back of the mind, you see a huge blue full moon hovering in the sky just above the lake in the midbrain. You see the reflection of the full moon upon the surface of the lake in complete, pristine representation and image with no blemishes at all. Just watching this scene of the full moon, the bluish colour, beaming down, reflecting upon the still lake of your mind. It's feeling a sensation of tranquility here. Now move the moon forwards to the point above the roof of your mouth. Still hovering above the lake, but now moving into the midbrain, above the roof of the mouth. And from here, see a single beam of moonlight emanate from the full moon, piercing through the third eye, in between the eyebrows. A moonbeam in bluish colour, piercing through the third eye and emanating this beam of moonlight out into the infinite in front of you. Focus all of your attention onto that moonbeam coming through the third eye, in between the eyebrows. Beam of moonlight, blue in colour, emanating from the moon in the midbrain, through the third eye, through the forehead, through the eyebrow centre. Rest all of your attention and awareness on this moonbeam, extending infinitely out into space in front of you. Allow your mind to rest in this light as you merge back into pure, calm, luminous consciousness. you begin to come back to your breath. Come back into your body. Feeling the breath back into the abdominal area. Inhaling, expanding the navel. And exhale, drawing the navel back to the spine. Bringing hands to Anjali Mudra prayer. Resting the palms and thumbs onto the heart space. May we carry the qualities of moon with us at all times. Reflective luminosity, calmness, steadiness, and a sense of deep stability. Offer gratitude to our bodies, to our minds, and to our practice. Thank you all for practicing with me. Namaste.